So I've never done a video at night. I don't know why. uh, what am I usually doing? I'm usually listening to that record player right there. Sometimes watching a movie. Why do you don't care what I do at night? Sometimes watch a movie, dinner with friends. I mean, well, who am I talking to here? I've been trying to read more. I'm just about to finish Warren Zanes' book on Springsteen's Nebraska, which is obviously being made, not obviously, but which is being made into a movie, which is exciting. But the last thread seemed, I mean, there were some great responses. The thing about Joe Henry, I mean, it almost had me in tears. Yeah, it's been a little bit of a trying week on multiple fronts, but also I have this 51 years old, just I got back pain that I've never had before. I've had it for the past week. Went to the doctor. I think it's a muscle issue, but it's been a week and it's not going away. I'm really opening up on this one, huh? But I really appreciated all the comments. Almost everyone who comments is always just gracious and thankful, and I really appreciate it because I've got, I don't know, 2,500, is 2,300 subscribers, and like many, I never imagined I'd have more than 50. So I say this all the time, but I'm really gonna start trying to do more of these videos. I'm trying to dedicate more time to sort of creative pursuits. So I've been writing, just stuff, spending time with my plant. This really is just turning into a session. Why don't we get to the topic at hand? So 10 more great records that were sort of mid or late career. And let's jump into it. I would love to see more of these. I think there may be a few of these roaming around. Mazzy, come on, man. You should do this. Let's get it started. This is a classic record. A Man Under the Influence by Alejandro Escovedo. Is it Vito or Vedo? Love Alejandro. It's a therapy session. Sorry, a text just came in. I always put these on pause or my notifications. This is a rough video. I shouldn't do these at night. He recently signed a record and dedicated it to Lane and me, which was incredibly moving. My cousin Buck got it for me. It's in a frame on the wall, and Alejandro is just these Rosalie, Rhapsody, Castanets, Follow You Down, Wedding Day, Evening Gown, which is like a Keith Richards cover, or I think it's Keith Richards. Beautiful song. This is a tremendous record. Alejandro is in the True Believers. I think he's in a couple other bands, little punk bands from the 70s. Just a staple. I believe he lives in Austin, Texas. And this is just one of my favorite records of that decade. Somebody mentioned this, and I agree. Willie Nelson's Spirit. I love this record. Listen to it all. Probably the Willie Nelson record that I listen to the most. Came out, looks like originally in 1996. And Willie Nelson looks like he looks today, right? No difference. No different. Who played on this? There's got to be some great players on this. Produced by Matt Sullivan. I don't really know most of the names on here. But just top to bottom, a great, great record. Absolutely love it. Willie Nelson has a million great records, and Spirit is one of them. I can't remember what, did I buy that? Was that a Vinyl Me Please? I can't remember. Mavis Staples, One True Vine. So it would either be this one, or this was produced by Jeff Tweedy, which was sort of I knew the Staples singers, but Jeff Tweedy was sort of my line into Mavis solo. It would be this one, or was it called You Are Not Alone? Whatever has You Are Not Alone on the record. I couldn't find that one. I have like 5 or 6 Mavis records solo, but I couldn't find the one that I was trying to find. But this is great. Holy Ghost, which I think is a low cover. Jesus Wept, One True Vine, just a gorgeous song. It's Mavis. And as I've shared many times, and I think anybody who knows Mavis' story, she's supposed to be one of the most wonderful human beings in the world. I know 2 or 3 people who have met her, and I've said this already, but it's worth repeating, that you feel like you're in the presence of something bigger, and she makes you feel that way. So I would love to shake her hand one day. I would love to see Mavis. Have I ever seen her live at one of Wilco's festivals? I don't think so. Mavis Staples, what an absolute legend. This one was easy too. Oh, it's another Rick Rubin record. 1999, Tom Petty's Echo. One of my favorite Tom Petty records. I sort of played it too much. So for years, Room at the Top, I think Jason Isbell has covered that. I think Jason Isbell covered that when I saw him recently. Counting on You, Echo, just a tremendous song. Just throughout, what a great comeback. I mean, not a comeback record. Tom Petty's always putting out great records, but this is one of them. This one seemed obvious, right? This is a great record. I haven't listened to it in years. Robert Plant and Alison Krauss, Raising Sand. It's won like 5,000 Grammys or something. And I'm not a big Zeppelin fan, and I don't really know Alison Krauss much. Another text. I gotta turn that. I always remember to turn it off, but at night I don't. But this record's great. Rich Woman, Gone, Gone, Gone. Love that song. Please Read the Letter. That song rules. Just what a great pairing. I don't think I've listened to anything that they've done after this. So this is 2007 on Rounder Records, but this is a great one. This artist was mentioned, but I don't think this record. John Prine's Fair and Square. I mean, he covers Clay Pigeons on this. Clay Pigeons, I think, is one of the greatest songs ever written by Blaze Foley. And I think I've mentioned that I'm in the market I'm looking around at local shelters for dog. And I thought if it's a boy, I may name him Blaze. I was supposed to have a dog in my home right now, which any of my friends who are watching this heard the story. It fell through. It was a dog that was found. I am telling all of my life stuff here. One of my neighbors found a dog in a local park 7 or 8 days ago, and he posted about it, and it turns out, it sounds like it was owned by somebody who was living in the park, and he and I, over text, it was one of those, like, what's the right thing to do here? And we went back and forth and spoke to some local shelters and animal care, and they said to bring the dog in so that the person can claim it if they so choose, or I'm just fumbling over everything. But if not, the dog will be released back to my neighbor on Monday, and then he has to have a 30-day hold or something. So that dog could end up being mine. We were gonna do a test this weekend to see if we connected, and I got his bed ready, everything, toys, got the food ready, but it fell through. But this John Prine record, listen to that. Someone mentioned this, and I agree wholeheartedly. I listened to this a couple days ago for the first time in ages, and what a remarkable record. Wrecking Ball, this was a great tour. It's got Land of Hope and Dreams, one of his best songs of the last 20 plus years. Jack of All Trades, Easy Money, Shackled and Drawn, Death to My Hometown, Wrecking Ball, Rocky Grant, We Are Alive. Just a great record. This came out 2012. Absolutely love it. Springsteen. I'm listening to some Springsteen tonight. Another great one. Lucinda Williams, World Without Tears. Fruits of My Labor, Righteously, Minneapolis, People Talking, just an awesome, awesome record. And I love this, how I got this on CD. If my friend Scott is watching, he's gonna know where I'm going. We were at a bar on St. Mark's in Manhattan. This came out when? 2003? I can't read that. It's 2001, 6? I don't know. But no, 2006 I was living out here. So it was somewhere between 2000 and 2005. We were at a bar, as I mentioned, on St. Mark's in the Village. Bar that we went to, Grassroots it was called. I think it's still there. And there was a record store above Grassroots. And this record had just come out. And I think maybe we put it on the jukebox, and I was like, man, I need to buy this CD. Remember, we're still buying, it's like 2002 or whatever, I was still buying CDs. And I went to the bathroom, and I came back. I don't know how he pulled it off so fast, but Scott had gone upstairs to the record store and bought me the CD. And I came back to the table, and it was just sitting on the table for me. And I was like, almost like choked. It's like, that's what's one of the kindest things. You do little things like that, I want to get back into therapy, but no, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it at that other story. But I always just loved that Scott did that. It was such a generous and in the moment, like, kind move. And I just really appreciate it. Scott's a good guy. World Without Tears. Awesome Lucinda record. 2 more. Jayhawks. This record didn't get a lot of fanfare. Backroads and Abandoned Motels came out in 2018. I think from top to bottom, this is a phenomenal record. Come Crying to Me, Everybody Knows, Gonna Be a Darkness, Bitter End. Just great, Carry You to Safety, Leaving Detroit. Just unbelievable songs. And one of the best Jayhawks records. Another tax, I don't know why I'm so popular tonight. That was a DoorDash thing. And finally, probably the one that I most overlooked in the last round, came out in 2002, and it was produced by Joe Henry. And that is Solomon Burke's Don't Give Up on Me. I was living with my girlfriend at the time in Brooklyn, and she loved this record. She played it all the time, the CD, yeah. And we had it right around the time it came out, 2002. And she and I actually got to see Solomon Burke at Radio City Music Hall. He was part of a big blues show, and we got tickets just to see Solomon Burke. And he sat in like a big throne, and he was incredible. I mean, Don't Give Up on Me, Fast Train by Van Morrison, Diamond in Your Mind by Tom Waits, Flesh and Blood by Joe Henry, Soul Searching by Brian Wilson. I mean, this Stepchild by Dylan, The Judgment by Costello, The Other Side of the Coin, Nick Lowe. I mean, he's just Chuck Prophet. Like, he's just covering all the greats. This is an all-time favorite record for me. And they had this on the jukebox at Brooklyn Inn, which is the bar that we would always go to when I lived in Brooklyn, and we would just play the whole thing over and over. I think that's 10. And given the DoorDash message I just got, my food's gonna be here in a minute, so I should close this out. Thanks again for all the comments. The Joe Henry thing, again, to the gentleman who passed my video on to his friend who knew Joe Henry, and Joe Henry was apparently in a cab in Manhattan and watched my little clip of talking about civilians. I do this, I said in one of my messages, I do this channel to shed light on records that I think never got their due, both past and present. Present that didn't get their due? Well, they may not get their due. And I'm gonna keep doing that. I obviously talk about other bigger artists. I like a lot of stuff, so I like to cover anything. It's really come down to shining a light on records that I think should have gotten more recognition and stories tied to these records. I think that's my channel in a nutshell. That's it. hope you're all well. I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll be back sooner than typically I come back. Than I typically come back. Take care.